It is easier to date a fraud than it is to date a real one. I've been together with my man now for going on about 5 years. And when I tell you that is a good man, that is a good man. However, can I keep it a buck with y'all? Because you know my honesty is all I have. Good men are not perfect men. I don't say that as a diss to any man, to any good man, to my man. I say it as a reality check for the babes. Because when I first started dating him, which was like no time at all, but it was 5 years ago, and that was my first relationship. I had been in situationships, but nothing serious. It wasn't his first. So I would make comments like, you are literally so perfect. And this is like 1 year into our relationship. And I noticed that he'd always snicker to himself and be like, I'm not perfect. At first I was like, what in the self-sabotage? I said, this is a compliment, baby. Take it. He'd always just like laugh it off or whatever and just be like, I'm telling you, I'm not perfect, but thank you though. It wasn't until later on in the relationship that I understood why he did that. This was probably like almost 2 years in, and I had a little bit of a reality check where I was like, oh, this man isn't perfect. However, the very thing he was trying to avoid, I had fallen into, of expecting perfection. So when he was a human, I was so shocked and taken aback, and he was like, but I told you I wasn't. And you having this standard of expectation of me allows me no room to be human. And I was like, oh my freaking days. 2, a good man will require you to be a good woman.
Welcome back to the channel. You see the information on the screen, so you know what I'm about. So let's get into it. So this is a pretty good video. I actually liked this particular video. I think this is something we don't talk about enough. Going to the comments really quick. Some person says, this is easy to listen to, hard to watch, which again, this means you have to up yourself a little bit. Somebody else comes in and says, a good man will require you to be a good woman. That is true. I believe that is a huge one. Another one basically says, hey, I needed to hear this. Thank you. Another one said, this won't go viral, but needs to. Thanks for keeping it 100. Another one says, there's no such thing as a perfect man or a perfect woman outside of subjective opinion. Even then, the person won't be perfect. They are human with their flaws. All right. But I like the fact that in this, she talked about one thing about this perfection, another thing about a man being a good man. Okay. And then her understanding that she had basically put this man on such a high pedestal or position that he didn't really have much wiggle room at the top. And I like the fact that he was humble throughout, that situation, because we have to remember, like, one of the things that I'm always telling you all the time is look for marriage worthy people. But a marriage worthy person is not a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination. The reason why God gives us all grace is because he already knows that we're going to make mistakes. Okay, that's just how it works. And in every single relationship, people are going to make mistakes. That's just, again, how it works. But that doesn't mean that anyone should be afraid of being in relationships. Okay, but the key, I think, here is for everyone to understand that as women are out here looking for men, again, you're not looking for that perfect man. This is one of the main reasons why I'm always, telling women, look, if the man is a 6 out of 10 as far as his attractiveness, give him a moment. Talk to him for 15 minutes. If he's respectful and he's a 6 out of 10 as far as attractiveness, give him, 15 minutes of your time and see whether or not, you can go forward with this man. All right. And if not, then just move on. Okay. But I think a lot of people are out here and they're looking for perfection. And that whole concept of perfection and unrealistic expectations, it really just leads you down a path where you're not happy. And then we also have this whole thing about the representative, okay, where women are saying, hey, I meet these men's representative. But again, if we create this environment where men feel like they cannot be themselves and actually be accepted, then what do you think is going to happen? I've always talked about that men have emotions just like women do. And while men don't like talking about their emotions and they don't like to go in too deep with their emotions, they do have them. Now, I don't believe that women should be coming up and saying, tell me about your emotions. Talk to me. I'm here. which is what a lot of women think they need to do. But no, you don't need to do that. All you need to do is, in the back of your mind, respect the fact that he has emotions. All right. And in that concept, all you have to do is just be generally nice to him. Why do you think men like kind women? They like them to be kind because they have emotions. They don't want their emotions trampled on, just because a woman's going through something. Because kind people, even if they're having the worst day ever, okay, like lost their job, got in a car accident, and then found out, that there was somebody's about to foreclose on their house. A kind person is going to do their best to be kind no matter what, right? No matter what is out here in this world. And when men are actually going through life, there's not a lot of people that are kind to them, right? So that is one of the main reasons why men like that. But when you're dealing with men, again, you can't put them on these pedestals. You can't make all these unrealistic expectations and then think it's not going to come back to bite you. Men are human. Women are human. Everybody's human. And because we're all human, we're all going to make mistakes. And so you can't worry about that. But the key element is the man 65-ish% of what you're looking for? 65 to about 70%. Is he that? And does he have the openness to try to work on the other 10 to 15% to get you as close to 80% as possible? Is he willing to work on it? And if he's willing to work on it, you got you one. You got you one. All right? But beyond that, it's actually, again, it's just not going to work. And again, that is that whole concept of people looking for something, again, especially based off of social media, and you're hoping that this is going to be that perfect person for you, and it just ends up, not working. Because the number one thing that has to be right is their head has to be right and their heart has to be right. If those two things aren't there, it's not going to work anyway. It's just going to fall apart. Please like, please subscribe. Remember, first and third Wednesdays, we do have lives. So next week, we'll be having a live on Wednesday. All right. I'll see you in the next video.